What is up, Team Happy&Fit? Thanks for joining me tonight. Happy Tuesday. Happy Transform 20 launch day. I got my bundle today. I'm so excited. If you get your bundle by tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and comment below in Team Rockstar Fit under Trina Gray's Live, you'll be entered into a $50 drawing. Now, if you help a coach get started with Transform 20 or a customer, there's 3 ways and chances to win cash tomorrow in Team Rockstar Fit. So if you type that into the search tool, and it should be about 67,000 people, like it should be 67,000 people, 6,700 people. Believe me, not that many people are actively a part of that group. It's just grown into that. Request to join, you'll be approved, and then you'll want to comment under Trina's post. You want a notebook and pen tonight. I'm going to talk real fast about T20. I want you guys to know that there is a sneak peek, and this sneak peek, I think I actually have it up right here, and then I'm going to log out of Facebook. So it's Transform Your Year sneak peek, 20-minute workouts. I have it set up in oh gosh, okay, here, well, there we go. I have it set up in units, and all you need to do is tag the person that you added to this group under this first post right here. Now this post right here is a video of me, and there's only 90 views on here. I would love to see a lot more, but I literally break down the pricing of what it would be sold separate. And then at the very end, I talk about how they can get started. And I talk about how you can join in an accountability group, or you can join our team. And I really do think coaching is the ultimate way to get started. So if you have trouble wording this, you have trouble connecting the information after the invite, I think I really want you all to reflect on this. What is your resource that you go to after your invite? I think if we can get over our fear of inviting, we have to really nail down a well-oiled machine, and I've done that. I've done that for you, so utilize it. And so say you're posting. First of all, can we look at my post for T20 today? You guys are going to be blown away by this post today. Yep, I'm going to show you right what's going on as I made this post today. Right here, not even one like, and it's public, and it was 4 hours ago. So that happens, you guys. I'm posting. Don't feel sorry. Don't y'all go liking my post. You can if you want. But then if you look, I share a story. I shared a specific story, and look at that. Right? Can I just show you guys that this happens to me too? I'm not fretting about it. I'm not like, well, this isn't going to work. I'm never going to post again. Are you kidding? Game on. I'm going to post every freaking day until I get 1 like on that, right? No, I'm not going to get tripped up by that. And then on my Instagram stories, you're going to see me posting about T20 every freaking day. And I've been sharing resources, transformations, things like that. Follow my Instagram. See what I'm doing and how I'm talking about this. I've already sent out 2 emails today about T20 on top of the people that I've already added to the sneak peek and tagged them under that. So I'm constantly going to be talking to people, but not everybody's going to like it. People are observers and watchers. They're just going to see more of my stuff. Grant Cardone would be like, well, if they're not seeing it, then I'm going to post it 60 more times until they see it, right? So instead of like the back off thing of like, oh, I'm just not, no. Okay, all right, game on. I'm gonna make sure people see this post. So T20, use the resources. We have the sneak peek, and I think honestly that first video is enough for people. It doesn't have the transformations in there, but it's good. I saw that Ashley Green added a potential coach to our team page, and you guys should go see my comment under her. Her name is Ashley, and we were talking back and forth and just saying like, yep, there's an accountability, or the ultimate accountability, where the transformations happen, right? You stick with me longer doing it this way. You grow more this way. Oh, and by the way, it's free to do it your first month. Win-win. That's exactly what I wrote, and I think that's true if you're getting a challenge pack. So in my opinion, use the sneak peek, and then I have a challenge group set up. After you get your bundle and after someone purchases from you, you'll just bring them to that group. And what I see that group doing this month is all of us sharing our sweaty selfies from a Shanti workout. So today I did Tapata Power. You guys, I don't need a playlist when it comes to Shanti. I just need Sean T, right? Like, no music needs to be playing. I just need my man. And he is so golden. Was anyone on the call today? He was like this for over 30 seconds. And then I was like, oh my gosh, like there's such a long pause here. And then he just, are you going to do the work? Does T20 work? Are you going to do the work? What was your takeaway from that call today? Could someone unmute? What blew your mind? What did you learn? What are you excited about?
Okay, since y'all are too cool to talk today, sorry, throwing some shade. I was just blown away with the energy he had. I know he mentioned that like that was his 23rd call with teams, and so that's a lot, but he still brought the energy. He brought the truth, and that I think is huge. You know, we get so caught up in having the perfect response to potential clients and coaches, and how we respond to their objections, and does it really work? Are those photos photoshopped? And that was his point when he was like, well, are you going to do the work? And then just sat there and let it be, because that's the real truth, is that our clients are going to get out of this program what they put into that program. And it's, yes, we're selling the product, but at the end of the day, they're going to get out what they put in. And so I thought that was really, really cool. And can we just appreciate for a second how amazingly flamboyant Sean T is? Like, he's incredible.
I love his energy for sure. Like his passion and for what he's doing is so good, because if you guys have not completed a Sean T program, like he just gets in my head. Like the way he gets in my head, I'm just able to do it. And I just believe in myself a lot more. And he just gets straight to the point. Like, this ain't no coffee break. Like, he's not trying to waste any time in any of his workouts, any of them I've ever done. It's just so fast paced. And that's what I really love about it. So here's the deal. If you get behind it, other people will too. If you're half in, I said there's two mindsets. The person who's saying this is too expensive, well, then wait till March. Like, you're not in this for the business. Like, you're not in this to really help other people. You only look at it for yourself. And then there's a second mindset of, this is going to blow up. Like, this is going to help so many people. This is going to help create momentum in my business. This is going to help me 20 minutes a day. I'm going to do early access. There's just two types of mindsets. And if you're serious about doing this, again, there's two types of thinkers, like how slow, maybe the website was down a couple of times today, right? I think Sean T broke the internet today. Well, there's two types of mindsets of like, oh, like, this is awesome. Kim was like, Sean T broke the internet. It was awesome, right? And then there's other people who are like, ugh, like, I'm not even going to do this. There's just two types of people. And we gotta think and pick who we want to be. So I don't want you to wing it. Trina said this the other day, Starbucks doesn't wing it. Starbucks doesn't wing it. They have a game plan. They know exactly what their marketing is. They know exactly what they're going to do. When every holiday comes around, they have everything done, right? They have everything set in stone and in place. They're not winging it. And I think a lot of times, because we don't have someone standing over our shoulders, we wing it. And then each month we're asking ourselves, why can't I figure this out? Why am I not good at this? Why is this not moving forward? Because you're winging it. Don't wing it. Make a list. Like, do you want to help 5 people this month, or do you want to help 10? And stick to it. Stop breaking promises to yourself. Stop quitting because it's gotten a little challenging. Lean in and be like, okay, I have to get creative. I have to think. If I were just to lean on my social media, did y'all see how well that worked out for me today? Like, if I'm just gonna lean on a post, I'm about to help no one. Even if you all liked it, it wouldn't even matter, because you're all coaches. If I'm going to lean on my social media, that can't do the work for me alone. If I just only send out emails of follow-ups, that's not going to do the trick either. Yes, it's a combination, but what it is going to do is me being in my inbox. So maybe You want to help 5 people this month, and then you have an inbox goal of, I need to start 5 new conversations every single day, and I have 5 inbox messages waiting for me. And then instead of asking myself, how do I transition, I just will transition. Hey, I don't know if you saw, I have a program coming up, or I have a workout or a group coming up that is 20-minute workouts. I'm so excited to do it. I would love for you to do it with me. You just transition. If people say, screw you, then be like, whoa, not my tribe. See ya, right? You have the power. Stop giving the power to everybody else, okay? So that's what I want to say about that. Transform 20 is going to be awesome if you make it awesome. And we're going to transition into this. Does anyone have questions real fast about T20? I hopefully have it all set in the team page, like what like Transform 20 is. That's in FAQs of specifically, you can watch videos about it. The bundles, I know it's a little confusing on how to order, but if you wanted the bundles, oh, the step. This is something that I know some of you are getting the step and some of you aren't. This is something that hit me when I was in Vegas and people are part of the test group, is that they all traveled with their step. Everybody who was in that sneak peek were able to carry it around because it's not that big. And I thought about that and I was like, that's kind of awesome that some people were coming from Canada or Miami or wherever, but they literally traveled with their step because they could. It could just be a carry-on. And I was like, dang, that's kind of awesome to think about because it's small and compact and something you can take with you and to tons of places. So if there's like a specific reason on why I'm most excited for that particular step, it's because of the travel aspect. And I didn't think about that until today, actually, when I heard, I don't know if I heard Sean T. I think he was talking about the step. And then I was like, oh my gosh, like that is something that I really liked. So I liked that aspect of it and it made me think of that. But yeah, all the information is there. I wouldn't wing it. I'd make a game plan. Transformations and stories will make you successful. So the stories that you share, talk about why you want to do it. Why do you need it? Why are you looking forward to this being your program to start 2019? Why should people join now? I think to get prepped and prepared. If we make our accountability group about our Shanti workouts we're doing now, I think it'll ease people into one, Sean's intensity and also Sean T in general. And so that's why I see our accountability group being an accountability group for us in general of like, I'm like, oh, I need to post my selfie in there, and I did. And that's what you're going to see me to continue to do every single day in that group before we get started, if that makes sense. So I'm pumped about that. I think that's why people should get joined or started now. And I think all roads lead to coaching. Be confident in your coach invite. Use that video if you're not. I don't necessarily think that you have to separate them. I don't think it has to be a separation. I really think it should just be one. Yep, you can totally join this, but if you want me for longer and you want to really stick this out longer, this is what I suggest, and it's free to do it your first month. Like, we just have to, like, just do it, and then you'll get naturally better at it. Okay, you need a pen? Yep.
Yeah. I have a question.
What's up?
Way back at the step. So can you go back over, and I know there's a lot of it going on in the chat also, but can you go back to the step for me? Because I was under the impression that the step was for coaches, but I also see that it's within the packs. So can you explain to me how that's going to work? Are challengers going to be able to get the step also, or are they pushed to the side to make sure that the coaches get it first? Because that was my understanding.
Yep. No, so coaches and challengers can get steps. The thing is that the steps might be sold out. And so what they're doing is it's almost like if you got a Success Club point last month, you're guaranteed a step. So you're guaranteed a step, and then all challengers who order it would get a step, yes. And we'll see what happens. I'm excited for that step. Yep, through the 11th. Thanks, Kristen. Okay, great question. I'm really excited. If you guys blow this up and get behind it, then that energy will pour out. And again, do you want to do this with me? You're not doing any favors for anybody. You're having them come alongside you, right? I'm excited. It is going to be amazing, and I can't wait to get started with all of you. So you'll want a pen and you'll want a paper. I'm really excited about this lesson. I actually wasn't going to do it, and I decided to do it. And I think that it's going to be really powerful. It was powerful for me anyway. So I think that struggles and obstacles are our greatest teachers. I think that the stumbling blocks that we have in our life, I think that the difficult moments are our greatest teachers. And I always think about Tony Robbins. He's my favorite. I really enjoy him and I love his intensity. I love Unleash the Power Within was amazing. And he said this in Not Your Guru, but he also said it, Unleash the Power Within, that if you can blame your past for the bad, you can blame your past for the good. And I always think about that if you could think about your childhood and maybe it was okay, but maybe something could have been a little bit different or there's some kind of resentment there. I just think in my childhood, I would not be the person that I am today if I didn't experience the things that I had experienced as a kid. I have the grit that I have, the resiliency, the mindset, like the things that have happened to me. When I got our college rejection letter, that was so devastating at 18 years old, when everyone in school is comparing and like showing where they're going to school. And here I am so embarrassed, already feeling like a loser, already feeling stupid in general. I don't even like to use that word, but that was my most limiting belief, is that I'm not smart. And then sure enough, it's true, Julianne. You can't even get into a college that your mom works at, that you could have gone to for free. I couldn't see that. And then what's crazy is that college rejection letter got me to Wisconsin, and I met most of you, and I was able to meet Eric. I was able to teach at St. Marcus. I was able to do all these things. And I look back, and that really stemmed from a college rejection letter that devastated me, that I couldn't understand why. I would not trade that for the world. Now, when that happened, I would for sure trade that, right? Right when it happens, because you don't want to go with that. You don't want that struggle. You don't want that depression, that anxiety, that miscarriage. You don't want that divorce. You don't want that stuff to happen to you. But I think when we start to look at, man, this isn't happening like against me. This isn't happening in a way that's trying to derail me. This is happening for me. This is about to teach me something. And that is all Tony Robbins. But I just feel like we need that reminder that our struggles can be our greatest teachers if we let them. And Trina was saying that, she said, what's the worst that will happen if you put a goal out there? I remember I shared in May, I did a whole call to a bunch of diamond leaders. You guys, I was a newer diamond coach. And I had shared this call. I had been diamond maybe for 6 months. And I shared this call about going elite. And I remember getting messages. I wasn't elite yet. That took a whole year to hit. And it was only May. Are you kidding? And I talked about my journey to elite. And people messaged me like, how can you put that out there when you haven't even hit it yet? And I was like, that's the difference between us. Because I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about what everybody else is going to say, because if I put it out there, I'm going to start believing it, and it's not a fairy tale. Like, I'm going to do the work to get there, but I have to put it out there so I can just really start to believe it myself. But what is the worst that will actually happen when you put something out there? Did you guys see that I put 10-star out there a couple weeks ago? Well, guess what? We didn't hit it. We didn't qualify for it. You see me breathing? Oh my gosh, the world is still here. The sky did not fall. And I put that there publicly and with all of you, that we were going to be 10-star qual a couple weeks ago. We didn't even hit it. We're very close, in my opinion. We could do it, but we didn't hit it yet. I'm still breathing. I'm still all right. But it's in the back of my head. I'm like, we're going to get there. 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 The sky will not fall. What is the worst thing that's going to happen if you put that out there? That I actually want to work this business. That I'm a Beachbody coach. What is the worst that's going to happen? And let me tell you, if it's a rejection, that's not the worst thing that's going to happen. The worst thing, you know what I'm saying? That's not really the worst thing that could happen. And sometimes we make it that. Darla hit 5-star elite, and she's on Team Rockstar Fit. She's been a coach for 5 years. So she's been a coach longer than me. She just hit 5-star elite for the very first time. And I'm so proud of her. I've been rooting for her, and I've been so excited for her. And this is what she said. And I have to agree with this. She said, PD for me is the way my mind needed what like my body needs for fitness. Like what our body needs for fitness is PD for my mind. And then I was really thinking about it, that the rejections, the no's, the how you're feeling about your business and your current state has so much to do with your mindset. It has so much to do with your mindset that I really believe because Darla was a 2-star coach and she's like, it was good enough. It was good enough. And then she said, but then when I realized that it was good enough for my coaches to be Emerald, it was just good enough. But once I leveled up and went to this next space, it required me to really dig into personal development because she had a lot of jealousy issues and comparison issues. That was like her biggest battle. She was so jealous of other women, and she had to really work on that and work on her heart through that. And then she was able to level up and now cheer for other women alongside her, to be able to like believe in other women and do this and not compete with them, right? And I really was thinking about it more, where I was like, yeah, you guys, like I have to say that our obstacles, we need to tackle our mindset with this. And it allows us to get over things quicker. It allows us to move past it. It allows us to level up, in my opinion. But I was just thinking, I was like, what does 5-star elite take? That really working on your mindset. That really is what it comes down to. That's exactly what I would agree with. Okay, so Trina was talking to another superstar diamond coach. I think it was Julie Voris. And she said, Trina, why do women play so small? Why do they play it so small? And of course, in Trina fashion, you guys are going to want to write this down. In Trina fashion, she said, you know, Julie, I think it takes 2 things for women to be successful. I was like, I'm listening. Women play it small because they don't tap into these 2 things. And it's this. Number 1, powerful grit. They have powerful grit. And or they have a powerful dream. And I'm going to break this down a little bit more for you, but this is something that you really need to hear tonight. They need powerful grit or a powerful dream. And I think you guys need to know too, powerful grit, not everybody is trying to create a future to run from their past. Some of you have had a really awesome past, but I know you've had to use grit sometime in your life. Am I right? Maybe your family circumstance was wonderful, but maybe an ex-boyfriend did something or said something, or maybe someone else said something and put you down, right? You needed powerful grit to move through that. Well, number 2, a powerful dream outside of the edge of what you're doing, out of your reach right now. What is that powerful dream? Your income can be okay, and maybe your life is good, but like, what is outside the edge of that? And that is enough to help you not play small. That money doesn't have to feel hard. Isn't that a wonderful, powerful thought? That money doesn't have to feel hard. Relationships don't have to feel hard. Self-care doesn't have to feel hard. This business does not have to feel hard. Now, the powerful dream that you have, it must be colorful. It's not a fairy tale. You have to honestly believe it, and you have to paint it in such detail. You have to be creating it in such an imagery that it becomes so real to you. Because some people will say it like, oh yeah, like I really want to make this much money a month. And I'm like, yeah, you don't believe it yourself, so it's not going to happen. Like I can tell when you believe it and when you don't. So I'm not trying to say, let's mock up these dreams and be like, that'd be nice. No. Like, it is like a painted, detailed, what does it feel like? What does it smell like? Hopefully not Wyatt's farts. And what is my life going to be like with this dream? So my question for you is this. I need you to write this down, and I need you to write it in the chat. Number 1, some of you have more grit stories than dream stories. Some of you have had it a lot harder than others. And that will be your driving force. If I had to pick between the two, the one that emulates my life the most is grit. Hands down. Now, you may not have the story of someone who's had to have a lot of grit. That is why these dreams are vital to your success. So number one, what grit stories do you have? What have you had to overcome in your life? And I want you to take time right now to write that down and really think about it. What have you had to overcome? So for me, this is not a story that I've publicly shared before. I don't even think I've ever shared it on a call. It's hard to relive this, really hard. So my parents got a divorce and I didn't understand why. And that was really hard. It's really hard to go through school when most kids have their parents together. It's really hard to have a broken up family. So I remember I went to my mom and I was upset and I couldn't understand. And I said, "Mom, I'm moving in with Dad." And I could just see the look on her face of devastation. But at the same time, I think she knew I had to learn this for myself. And so I moved in with my dad, and it was so awesome. It was awesome for a month. And unfortunately, my dad he's literally a wonderful human being. Like he really is. And jolly, full of love. Like he has helped he's taught me to love people hard. No matter what they look like, no matter what lifestyle choices they make, that I can still love someone and not see a boundary. And I appreciate that of him. But my dad, the reason my parents broke up is because he wouldn't come home at night. He would stay at the bar. He was a social alcoholic, and he was constantly gone, and which was hard. And my mom tried so hard to do it. I'm just trying to get this out. So I moved in with him, and it was so good. And then every night he was gone, it got a little bit later. You know, like I'll be home at 6 and then he'd come home at 7. Then the next day, I'll be home at 6 and then he would come home at 8. And then the next day I'll be home at 6 and then he would come home and I'd be asleep. And there was one particular day I don't think I was texting him. I must have been paging him. "Dad, when are you going to be home?" And "I'll be home soon. I'll be home soon. I'll be home soon. I'll be home soon. I'll be home soon." I said, "That's it. I'm locking the door. I know he does not have the key." And he came home and I locked him out of the house. And shortly after, I caught him having sex with a woman in the back of my house. And I was in 7th grade. And that next morning, I moved out and I looked at my mom and I said, "I get it." And first of all, no 7th grader should ever have to see that. And that was a pivotal moment for me. It's hard to share that, because there's a lot of shame associated with that and a lot of struggle to share that with you. And but it was a pivotal moment for me of like, okay, I I'm going to be with my single mom. We don't have a lot of money and we're just going to work through this. And that is a grit story that I have for you. It's not just my miscarriage. It's not just my college rejection letter. There were moments in my life that are very specific right, that have taught me that, Julianne, if you want something, you do it. If you want something, you fight for it. I could have stayed living with him, but I made a choice, and I moved out that next day and moved back. And I think that that taught me so much on how to live my life and how to be, right? And so sometimes it's so easy to just quit and just cave. But that kind of grit taught me how to live my life. So is there anyone else on this call that would be willing to unmute and share your grit story with us?
I can go. So 2 weeks before I was supposed to leave for college, my stepdad committed suicide. And in those last 2 weeks, when most of my friends were either at school or packing up to go to school, I had to work extra hours. I had to work full time. And a month before that, had been working like 40 to 50 hours a week, like that summer, just to support my family because my mom couldn't work. And that was August. That following June, I joined Beachbody. And it was then that I realized, like, I never want to put my children in the position that I had to be put in a week after I turned 18. And it was hard, but it was so eye-opening because, yes, I was able to do that, and I was able to help support my 2 siblings. But had I not been there, like, we don't know what had happened with my mom and my sister and my brother. Like, it would have been a totally different story.
There's so much love happening in the chat for you right now. Thank you for sharing that. Would anyone else be willing to share?
So as you guys know, I've been sharing pretty frequently in the team page my grit stories because mine have happened pretty recently. I've had a really good life, you guys, and I know a lot of people can't say that their childhoods were not as easy and good and happy as mine. And like when you have parents that are that amazing, when something happens to one of them, when you're trying to just become a mom and like learn all these things. My dad found out, he didn't tell anyone he was going to the doctor 2 weeks before my sister's wedding this year, that he has Parkinson's and he's 54. And he kept it to himself for 2 weeks because he didn't want to ruin my sister's wedding. Didn't even tell my mom. He danced all night at my sister's wedding, which he doesn't do. And 2 weeks after, he told us about the diagnosis. And seeing him shake when he holds my daughter, and just like making me think about this man that's been so good to me and been my hero and my rock, thinking about him becoming weaker, it broke my heart. But I realized why I have to coach and be here for that, and my why is so on fire, and my reason is so on fire now. But I needed that to really get back and just have this passion and just know that the quality of life like is so important, and being healthy and working out and not taking one single freaking workout for granted, because there's people who can't even move. Like, that's simple. He shakes. Guess what? I can work out, like I can walk, I can move. And not everybody gets that opportunity. And so it's like every workout, I'm going to work out for him and my family and for future generations and for all of those things. And so, yeah, that's all.
Thank you for sharing that. And I think like that story is going, like when you said it lit a fire in you, is going to be the reason why you can do anything in this. And again, some of you may not have that grit story, but you can have your dream. Is there someone else that would be willing to share their grit story with us? Thank you so much, Riley.
I can go. In college, when I got recruited to play softball, and when I was on the team, I started getting harassed by the teammates, getting pressured into doing things that I've never wanted to do. And they got my coaches behind them as well. And so I was being bullied and harassed by my coaches, by my team. And it was a really small campus, and almost the whole entire college knew that I didn't want to do any of these things. There were so many lies and secrets going behind, so I ended up transferring. And it's really unfortunate that the person who started it followed me to my new college. But that's what fires me up, is that I want to prove them wrong. What they've said about me, what they've done to me, is not, I don't give them any right to say those things, and that I want to be able to help others who are feeling that way, who don't feel like they're good enough, who always are being put down, in order to be self-confident about themselves.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. And I'm so sorry that that happened. I just think about like people who deal with shame and guilt, which has been all of us, right? Shame is typically something that we feel and not necessarily, and guilt is usually something that we've done. And I think like at the end of the day, when someone goes home at night, they still have to deal with those feelings, even when you can't see them dealing with that. And anytime someone puts someone down, there's no way they can actually genuinely and authentically feel confident in their own skin, right? Like there's no way that someone can feel awesome when they make other people feel less than. And that's kind of like, I am better than no one and no one is better than me. Like that's just kind of that philosophy. And I think the hardest part about that is like the best revenge is massive success and self-love. And at the end of the day, it's not really about revenge when you really think about it. But like, I just think you showing up for your best self is just showing that no one has the power over you to make you feel less than as a human and as a person, and that you can still shine so bright and have so much self-love and self-care and believe in others. And in that situation, you can blame that situation for the good by treating other people so awesome. Like you can blame that horrible situation that happened to you by massively loving people. The way you blame that situation for the good is showing up to take care for yourself instead of digging yourself in a hole. And that's how we blame our past for the good, you guys. That's exactly how we do that, is we do the opposite of what's happened to me. So like with my dad and that whole situation, it's like I blame that for having Eric. Like I have literally the best human in the world as my partner, and the way he loves me and the way he looks at me and the way he talks to me is like priceless and precious and a gift from God. And I can blame my past for that in the good way. Thank you so much for sharing, you guys. And I just think that, you know, these grit stories make us keep going. That is my motivation for how I've gotten here. Every single time, every time I've had a setback in this business, every time I've had a frustration in this business, every time I've had a rejection, a no, an ignore, a block, a ghost, a cancellation, not getting a powerful transformation, to not hitting my goals, to whatever has happened in this for me as obstacles. My life has been my grit to keep showing up, and that's how I've gotten here. It's not because it's been easy. It's not because it's been just a cakewalk. It's just because I have this grit inside of me that I will show up no matter what, because I see a new future for the generations to come in the Candia family. Like, I see a new way of life that my kids will not know that. They will not experience the past that I've had. And not all of you have that. So we're going to go into dreaming. What dream do you have? And you have to believe this. You have to believe your dream. It is not a fairy tale. It's not something that you can just say. It's something that you actually have to believe. My friend Sarah Morrison said that her dream is to pay off her house and to take a family vacation to Europe to help other teammates experience financial freedom. That's her dream, and I know she's going to do it because she puts in the work. If you see her business, she emulates that. She walks the walk. She's someone who hits SC20 regularly. Like, she gets it done. And it's because that is her dream. It's because that's what she sees for her future. That money is not going to be hard for her because her dream is so detailed. It is so specific. So my question for you is, what is your dream? What is your dream? Go ahead and write that down, and you can go ahead and write it in the comments. If someone would unmute and share their dream, that would be so awesome. Amanda or Caitlin, would you like to unmute? Amanda says, living on a farm out in the country, having financial freedom, paying off all of our debt. Can you guys all just like sit there for a second on that? Like, paying off all debt. If you've done it, awesome. But if you haven't, how good would that feel? Even debt to your house, like paying it off completely. Like, what kind of elephant would that take off your chest? Like, what kind of freedom would that give you? That's amazing. And where do people talk about that? They don't talk about that at their jobs, you guys. They talk about that at home, maybe. But it's pretty cool. We can talk about it. Be a stay-at-home mom and still provide for our family. I think that is huge. Is what did I write down? An income that's yours. An income that is yours, that's not based off the economy, that's not based off of politicians, that's not based off the state. Literally an income that is unlimited, all because of your work ethic and belief. Think about that. Like, what would that do for you? An income that you earned 100%, not because you signed a contract and not because of your college degree. Or maybe you don't have one. Literally an income, all because you worked on yourself and you helped other people believe in themselves. Caitlin said, creating a loving and happy home for my future family with both parents present. Girl, that is goals. Yep. And active teammates with one another. I love that. Your team, you guys, you were my dream. This is something, your dreams are going to change. Mine was to leave my job. I did that. It was to move across the country. Did that, right? Like, I had these dreams. Happy and Fit was like my biggest dream when I first started, alongside of like paying for some bills. But then it's like, once Happy and Fit started, I was like, you know what? I would love to make like a full-time income from this. And not just like love to, but like actually do it. I love that. Giving my children the ability to do whatever they desire. I always think about that, Caitlin, is that if I put in the work, grit, hustle, and dreams now, I won't have to say no to my kids. That if they want to be in dance, awesome. It's not that I'm just gonna be like, here you go, kids. It's just raining money all day long. It's like, no, like I just don't ever want to be like, no, we can't do that basketball league because we have to get hotels every other weekend. Like I want to be like, if that's what you want to do, we can be fully committed to it. Or I always just have this dream too of like giving $20,000 to the West Coast Boxer Rescue because Wyatt changed my whole life. That I would just love to bless that rescue. I think about my church and how they're church planting. And I think about St. Marcus, the school I used to teach at, that I would love to be their top contributor for their financial fundraising. Like I would love to do that. Man, that's everything. Be healthy and a stay-at-home mom, debt-free, and you're making income. Isn't that amazing? And then you have a community to plug into so it doesn't feel so alone, and helping others do the same. Healthy marriage, yes. Leaving my job for coaching. I really do think like a healthy marriage and a healthy life, it's taking those like financial burdens away, or these like burdens away that kind of get in the way of truly feeling peace. You know what I mean? Like being able to like rip away these weeds that happen. Leave my job for coaching. Riley, that is so huge. That is so huge. Like that was my dream. Teaching my children a healthy lifestyle. I think that's everything. And that starts now. Modeling what you're doing like right now as you are. And then paying off debt and changing lives. Yes, dream, pay off debt. Man, this is so cool, you guys. Buy a farm in the country with foster abandoned animals. Yes, girl. My dream is to be able to provide a Christmas full of love and joy for my future children instead of ones filled with guilt and second guessing. Oh my gosh, yes. I don't want my children to ever know what it was like to live in poverty. Same here, sister. And see a mom struggle with money. Yeah, mom, dad struggle with money. My biggest dream is to be a mom that doesn't sit on a park bench but is up and playing with my children. Yes. Caitlin, paying off debt over here too, being able to work when and where I want. Yes, do you all know that's a reality? That this isn't scarcity, that there isn't limited space in this, that it literally has an invitation for anybody who just decides to trust the compound effect and putting in the work. Do you guys believe that? I believed it. And I really believed it. I knew it wouldn't be because of favorites. I knew that's not how success worked. Why? Personal development. I read The Compound Effect and Failing Forward. And then The Slight Edge. Those were my first 3 books that I read as a coach. The Compound Effect, Failing Forward, and The Slight Edge. Those 3 books were enough for me to stick this out and take action. Not stick it out and do nothing. Not stick it out and be afraid of invites. Not stick it out and just kind of wing it. Meaning stick it out and have a plan. Stick it out and take action. Stick it out and trust the process. Stick it out and dream big and tell everybody my dream. You guys have heard my dreams over and over and over and over again, or my goals, I should say. And if you're tired of them, I'm just going to keep on sharing them. I don't think you are, but you know what I'm saying. But I think you should do what I do by just sharing it. Spend more time with my husband and future kids. I always think that. I don't think at the end of everyone's life that they wish they would have worked longer hours at their job. I think they would have wished that they would have spent more time with the people they loved. And that's kind of my philosophy. Like, I just want to spend more time with the people I love. I just want time. Time is our greatest resource. And I would love to develop it into the people, right? Pay off our home, relieve, there we go. Some financial pressure from my hubby. I love that. So he can do what he loves. Oh, that's everything. Embrace being home with my babies, but still help provide. I love that. It gives you flexibility, that you're still earning an income that is yours, and that you're able to be present. Take trips with our family without having to think twice. That's a reality. That is something you can 100% do. Trina lives that every day. She wants to fly to go see her mom in Madison. She does it. She can decide right now and do it. I think that's awesome. Because of time and money, right? Like she has the flexibility and she has the income. And it's not even about what I would buy. It's yep, I get you. I think that if there's a place, Victoria, that you don't have to explain that, it is right here. It is right here. It's like women are so afraid to admit that they would like money, but not because they want to buy things. Like, the reason, I get you. The reason you would want this is because you want to invest more into people. You want to invest more into impact. I so get you. And I think that's what makes this so awesome, is because it's just like, I got you. I 100% know what you mean by that. You don't even have to explain yourself. And I think that's why women play so small. They're so afraid to say things like, I want to go elite, because it's selfish. It's actually not, you guys. When you actually choose to do something like that, it makes everybody else level up. It really shows people what's possible. And it really requires a lot of grit. It's really not. But sometimes we play that in our head. I shouldn't sign up people to the team because, it's just, no, that's playing small. That's making up something in your mind about that. To own a working cattle ranch so my kids, oh my gosh, that's so cute. Yes, and providing an income. How awesome to help contribute while having flexibility, right? To not worry about bills, pay off debt, and not to be a workaholic like my parents. That is everything, Lisa. And remember, you can do that. You can do that. Travel, yes. I love you all. I'm not going to read all of these, but I wish that I could because I have to keep moving on. But like all the feels, it's not a fairy tale. It is a real thing. If no one has ever taught you and told you that before, I am right now. That is possible, and you might have to write that down every single morning. That requires discipline to write that down every single morning so you can breathe belief into that and then show up for that. Of like, man, you know what? I'm not going to hesitate sending out 10 invites because I have this massive dream. My dream is way bigger than anyone's no. Because at the end of the day, if someone says yes to this, we get to breathe belief into their dreams. We get to show them how to dream, right? That's exactly what we get to do. Remember this, grit can move mountains. Whatever mountain you're facing, whatever struggle you're facing, one, I think God is in Jesus Christ is literally like the way to work through that. But additionally to that, your grit and showing up is everything. My friend Teresa said, there's either the splat personality or the bounce personality. The splat personality, say your bank account bounces. The splat personality is, why does this happen to me? Why does this always happen? Why is this my life? The bounce personality is, man, this is a lesson. What action can I take from this happening to me? There are two types of people. There are two types of thinkers. A lot self-sabotage. Once you're having a lot of success, you got to bring it down. Then you're like, you have to overcorrect. No. How we do this is one step at a time, and we just keep trusting this process, right? And then I want you to consider, why do you think you can't? What are your limiting beliefs, and how did your limiting beliefs get there? Like, why do you think you can't? For me, it was because I wasn't smart. Someone like me can't be doing something like this. Someone like me, right? Who am I to do something like this? I'm supposed to be a teacher. Like, why? I shouldn't be doing something like this. But through those limiting beliefs and the reasons why you think you can't, what have you learned from those lessons, and how can you change your thought process with that? So for me, is that if I feel like I'm not smart, I just have to remember to be resourceful and that everything is figure outable. That's a word I made up. Right? If I feel like I'm not enough, I have to change that of like, actually, like, I have a team that I'm enough for. Like, like I have a husband that I'm enough for. So I learned that I actually can be enough. So we better blame everything for the good as well. And then Eric and I always talk about this when we're feeling a little bit stressed. I asked him this today. I said, is this coming from a place of trust or coming from a place of fear? When you're struggling with something, are you choosing to come from a place of trust or coming from a place of fear? Because coming from a place of fear will create a whole future that doesn't exist, that will stress you out and worry you and make you not take action. But when you come from a place of trust, you'll take action even though you're not sure what the outcome is going to be. You're going to take action even though you have doubt. You're going to take action even though you struggle with ... right? And just remember, outside of this, people don't look for ways to grow. Not like here. And I'm so grateful to be a part of a crew that looks for ways and opportunities to grow. And I just appreciate you guys giving us the space to be able to be so vulnerable. And I think that's such a special thing because a lot of people see vulnerability as a weakness. And I think vulnerability is 100% a strength. I think being able to be vulnerable with our stories, because your stories matter, you guys. Whatever's happened to you in your past, good or bad, it matters. And that's not something we have to keep a secret because of society standards, right? The societal standards. Like your story, what has happened to you, again, at the end of our lives, I don't think we're going to be like, man, like, I'm glad people knew me. I'm glad people knew that happened to me. I'm glad I was able to talk about that and help people. And it's not just like, it's so easy. You guys you see me share my story. I am transparent with my story. I don't ask permission to share my story. My story is my story, and I kind of am a rebel. I kind of go against the grain. You're supposed to wait 12 weeks. I shared at 6. That's just how I am. I just go against the grain because I'm like, who made up these rules? Who made up these rules on how to live my life? I don't think so. I'm just going to do it. When people told me I shouldn't do this, you can go ahead and keep thinking whatever you want to keep thinking because I'm going to do it. I almost like go against what people say. That's just how I am because survival's taught me how to live. But at the same time, I don't want to always be in survival mode. There's an advantage and disadvantage to that. But being able to be vulnerable with all of you is not something I knew how to do until this. I hid from it, ran from it, and ignored it, suppressed it, drank it out, right? But being here, I'm able to acknowledge it and be like, man, that made me. I'm really proud of my past. I'm no longer embarrassed because of it. So I just thank you so much for showing up here today and just sharing your dreams and your grit. I'm going to hit end.